is basically a way to waive a situation that may make you inadmissible to the U.S. And, you know, it's where you ask the government, like, hey, look, I know I was here illegally, but, you know, please give me a waiver because of. And what is the because of? People think that the waivers is just like, oh, you're going to ask for something and it's going to be granted. But what you have to remember is that the waiver is going to be based on how the lack of your presence as an immigrant who is trying to stay in the U.S. or come into the U.S. is going to affect the U.S. citizen or the petitioner who is petitioning you, and typically is the U.S. citizen, right? So, for example, if the person who is petitioning you is a U.S. citizen, he or she has a serious medical condition, whether it be medical or mental health condition, that person would be terribly and extremely affected by the lack of your presence in the U.S., and it would inconvenience that U.S. citizen to a great degree to leave the U.S. and go with you to wherever you're from. Then, you know, that would be a waiver that is appropriate, that might more likely than not be granted. But it's really going to depend on how the circumstances of your absence is going to affect the U.S. citizen. So an example I have is I have a client who is like, look, my spouse is HIV positive. You know, I want to apply for a waiver. And so the question here is, okay, your spouse who is a U.S. citizen who is HIV positive, are you that person's main caretaker? Yes. Okay. Could they receive treatment for HIV in your country in your country of origin without severe hardship? No. And so then, yes, that becomes a waiver that is going to be approved because that U.S. citizen would face extreme hardship with their medical condition in a foreign country, and they will not be able to sustain the same lifestyle that they would have in the U.S. in terms of medical and or possibly even social norms. So that's another waiver that can be done.